technologies, the future of mankind. In the past 40 years, there is a major technological change every 10 years. Every technological change will lead to a rise of tech company. From the photo we can see that personal computer and internet era lead to the rise of IBM and Microsoft. However, mobility and cloud era lead to the rise of Google and Apple. Therefore, we should think about which sector is the next 10 years' major technological change. I think that artificial intelligence, AI, will be the trend for next 10 years. However, we are not able to know which company will become the winner of this trend. It might be Google, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, or a company name that we never heard before. Therefore, instead of invest in the company that didn't have the certainty in this technological war, why don't we invest in the company that provide tools for the companies to win the technological war? The company that I introduced today is Nvidia, NVDA. In 1999, Nvidia released the first graphics processing unit, GPU. It was meant to improve the performance of the gaming sector. However, with the development of AI, computer scientists realize that GPU are more suitable in AI application than CPU because GPU can process many pieces of data simultaneous. This video will show the difference between GPU and CPU.
3, 2, 1. Let me speed it up.
Three, two, one.
Ladies and gentlemen, science class is now over. Thank you.
From the video we can see that the ability of the GPU caused it become the most suitable tools in the development of AI because AI needed a lot of machine learning and scientific computation. Nvidia plays an important role in the AI industry due to its hardware and software. From the hardware perspective, the world's demand for computing power continues to grow exponentially, yet CPUs are no longer keeping up as Moore's law has ended. However, the potential for GPU to optimizing across the entire stack is huge. From the graph we can see that Nvidia is able to advance computing in the post-Moore's law era for large and important markets at least for the next 10 years. Since AI is a technology that rely on strong scientific computation, GPU will be an extreme importance and this will cause Nvidia become the one of the beneficiary in this AI war. In 2020, 80% of the discrete market belonged to Nvidia. What's even more impressive is that its influence is even more substantial now. The company's market share grew to 83% less than a year later. That means that 8 of every 10 GPU sold are Nvidia's. However, in Q1 of 2022, market share shifted towards AMD a little bit, with AMD now at 24% market share and Nvidia at 75%. This isn't a massive shift, but it is a rather big one for AMD, since the company has been struggling to gaming market on the GPU front for years. Although the market share of discrete market slipped down a little bit, Nvidia still maintained dominant position in the market share of AI industry for 80%. Aside from GPU, Nvidia also planning to release its first CPU to work better with its GPU in early 2023. Nvidia Grace CPU superchip is able to double the performance per watt of today's leading CPU. The connection between Nvidia Grace CPU and Nvidia GPU provides a unified, cache-coherent memory address space that combines system and high-bandwidth memory GPU memory for simplified programmability. This coherent, high-bandwidth connection between CPU and GPU is key to accelerating tomorrow's most complex AI and high-performance computing problems. After we knew about the excellence of the Nvidia hardware, the software of Nvidia also cannot be ignored if we want to invest in this company. There are a lot of incredible software developed by Nvidia to enable user optimize the strength of GPU such as Nvidia AI Enterprise. This is an end-to-end, cloud-native suite of AI and data analytics software that's optimized to enable any organization to use AI. Aside from AI enterprise, software like Nvidia CUDA provide a parallel computing platform and programming model designed to deliver the most flexibility and performance for GPU-accelerated applications. It means developers are able to maximize performance and flexibility of the GPU hardware by coding directly. If we only compare the software of Nvidia and other tech giants such as Google, Nvidia is not able to compete with them. However, with the connection between hardware and software, it will make Nvidia become a strong player in AI industry. With such strong computing power of the GPU, it allow Nvidia to involve in many other sectors except from AI industry. The most well-known sector that Nvidia involve in is gaming sector. It also provide the highest revenue income among all the sectors in year 2021. The gaming sector occupy around 43% of the total revenue. Gaming industry is not a sunset industry. On the contrary, gaming industry require high specification of the GPU. The performance of the GPU require to improve every 2 to 3 years. The demand of the GPU will also increase in future if the VR and AR become widespread. Along with the development in the gaming industry, this sector will still occupy for the majority of revenue in future. Aside from gaming and AI industry, Nvidia also involve in another two huge potential industry. These two industry would deliver a market cap opportunity of $1 trillion in each industry. The first industry that Nvidia involved is cloud computing. Cloud industry will have a huge growth in the next 10 years also. Tech giants such as Amazon, Microsoft and Google are still expanding in cloud computing. The revenue of cloud computing is increasing year over year as picture shown. However, Nvidia does not directly offer cloud computing as a service or product. Nvidia's GPU chips are a key offering in the GPU as a service solution. This solution is offered by every major cloud provider, including Amazon Web Services, AWS, IBM Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and Oracle Cloud. Nvidia recognized AI-enabling GPU sales of $3.2 billion in a market that Omdia Research estimates to reach $4 billion in 2020 and then grow 900% to reach $37.6 billion in 2026. With a monster 80.6% share of the market, Nvidia will likely capture a significant portion of the market growth from their competitors in the market such as AMD, Google, and Intel. The second industry is automotive. Although this sector contribute the lowest revenue, it actually having the biggest potential in future. One of the products of Nvidia in automotive industry is Nvidia Drive Orin SoC, system on a chip. It's the ideal solution for powering autonomous driving capabilities, confidence views, digital clusters, and AI cockpits. The scalable Drive Orin product family lets developers build, scale, and leverage one development investment across an entire fleet, from level 2 systems all the way to level 5 fully autonomous vehicles. Drive Orin SoC is now in production and kicks off a major product cycle, with auto customers ramping in Q2 2022 and beyond. Orin has great traction, with over 35 customer wins from automakers, truck makers and robot taxi companies. Electric car manufacturers such as BYD and Lucid were the latest to announce that they are building their next-generation fleets on Drive Orin. After we know about the products of Nvidia, let's have a look on their financial. The revenue of Nvidia was up 61% from $16.7 billion to $26.9 billion in year 2022. The operating income and EPS also have a huge growth from year 2021 to 2022. Besides, the gross margin also stay above 60% year over year. The cash and cash equivalents of Nvidia also more than its debt. This means if the recession coming, especially at this interest rate hike moment, Nvidia will be safe and easily pass through this hard session. In conclusion, Nvidia's GPU are able to use in many sectors such as gaming, professional visualization, high-performance computing, HPC, AI, cloud, transportation, healthcare, robotics, and the Internet of Things, IoT. However, there are also pros and cons if you are planning to invest in Nvidia. The pros are Nvidia is a company with strong fundamental and good financial. However, there are long-term risk and short-term risk for Nvidia. The short-term risk is many people assume the sale of Nvidia rise is due to the GPU that use for mining in cryptocurrency. With the downtrend of the cryptocurrency lately, there might be a selling pressure for Nvidia stock. Besides, the long-term risk will be the potential competitors. Although Nvidia dominate the market share of GPU currently, there might be some competitor might take some of the market share in future, such as AMD or Google's TPU. If you have other opinions, let's comment below. Please help to like and subscribe.